Namaste, Soul Circle.
My name is Stephen Michael James. I've done a lot of different modalities so far in my life, and I love integrating them all into medicine that helps serve people get to their highest good.
I'm Candace. I've always felt the pull towards the metaphysicals and the energies of the people around me. Through my journey of self-growth and self-love, I came to understand that I'm actually an empath and a healer by nature.
I'm a certified Reiki master, a spiritual Lifepath coach. I'm also a master crystal healer too.
Integrating my experiences as a support worker, a mother, a woman of color, and with my degree in behavioral sciences.
I was a hereditary practitioner. My grandmother was a wise woman.
I'm able to dig deeper into my spirituality with a variety of modalities that align with both Western ideals of healing and holistic principles.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm super excited and I'm ready.
I am ready, and we can't wait to meet you.
Namaste, Soul Circle! Welcome to Full Moon in Aquarius, also known as Buck Moon. My name is Candace.
And I'm Stephen, and we are from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada. We are here, we are here, we are here. It is so exciting that we are at the midway point of the lunar year. We are at the Buck Moon, getting ready to turn over to harvest season. Isn't it crazy how this wheel has just turned, Candace?
It has turned, and it is turning quickly. July went like this, honestly. It was so fast.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like...
we're already having to get ready for our next Sabbath. Everything is happening so quickly.
Right. And I just have to point out to all of our viewers out there right now, we actually didn't plan our outfits to match so well.
No, we did not.
Total fluke.
We're just so connected. We're so connected.
Magic is real, folks. Magic is real. If this is your first time with us with Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, we want to welcome you. Arcana focuses on providing an inclusive community of spiritual-minded people focused on self-development through metaphysical and holistic principles. And if this is your first time, welcome to the family. We're really excited to have you. And please, if this is your first time celebrating a full moon, leave a comment below, because we want to see if this is your first time ever taking part in a ceremony, even if it's just your first time with us, or maybe it's your first time ever, which would be super exciting. We would love to be the people to help you pop your full moon cherry. It would mean the world to us. Now, we want to say, if you don't
Popping cherries.
if you don't know us, please head over to Arcana, mindbodyspirit.com, and check out, we have a whole array of services that are available for you. And of course, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and most likely you are watching this currently on YouTube. So make sure you hit that like, that notification bell, because Candace and I go live all the time. And we're planning actually next month, we're going to go live quite a fair bit. I think we might have another everyday situation on the go. So we are all very excited about that. So let's talk full moon, shall we? Now, what is full moon all about? I mean, we have a little tradition here. I need to make sure my vocal cords are all warmed up. Candace, are you ready?
Oh, hold on, wait, hold on.
Warm it all up. Make sure we're all good. We're ready to go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Full moon is all about release, and there's no better way to release than a good old howl at that gorgeous moon up there. And it's really awesome that so many animals have different things, like a wolf howls, and a lot of different animals migrate and do different things during a full moon, because there's just so much energy in the field. Now, if you're someone who is spiritual minded, we use the full moon for two big purposes. Number one is it is the halfway point of the lunar cycle. So we have been working diligently for the last 2 weeks really hard on an intention. And as of tonight, this is the apex of that. We are getting to the point of celebration of what we had intended. And from here on out, it's going to be about integrating it into our life and doing some gratitude work and release. So for today, we are going to first talk about what our intentions for, our releases from last full moon were. And then we're going to jump on into a little bit of gratitude work. If you have a journal or something like that, feel free to grab that so that you can record everything with us. And then lastly, we're going to discuss what we are going to release before jumping into a little bit of tarot. So, right in front of me here, we have an awesome little spread going on. I have 4 symbols carved in quartz here, and underneath them I have some tarot cards. God, this labradorite table is just shining tonight. I'm loving it. So I want you guys to stare at these symbols and pick one. Okay, so this is symbol number 1. This is symbol number 2. Just trying to get her focused. There we go. That's number 2. Here is symbol number 3. This is one that Candace and I haven't used in circle in a long time here. But as we move into this time of year, this is a very good one to be using. And lastly is this symbol. All right, so there is 2 tarot cards underneath each of these. And we're going to be, I'll be doing a tarot reading. You'll choose one symbol that resonates the most with you. And then from there, one card is going to be your current situation or your obstacle in front of you. And then I'll pull an outcome card. All right. So heading on back, I think it's time to discuss a little bit about these energies that are going on in the field for this full moon. Candace, take it away.
Yeah, okay. So also here in Toronto, we're doing full moon a little earlier than normal, just because, you know, life's happening. It's Friday. Anyways, but the full moon itself is actually here Eastern Standard Time around 10 p.m. So everything that we're doing today, all of our practices, I also have some other little things that people can do. So there's always variety in how you want to celebrate the full moon. But again, it's going to be out and bright in the sky around 10 p.m. So it's a great time to jump into your actual practices then, or you can still do it now and be conscious of it throughout your evening. So here we are. Welcome again. We are celebrating another full moon. And to be honest, the waxing phase for me was a big go time. I literally felt the energy, like today's where I literally felt the energy shift from my body. I just did a little quick story. I was dropped my daughter off at camp, and as I was walking, I was going to turn my music on and maybe like jog home. And then I was like, no, I think I'm just going to casually stroll. And I was listening to all these birds, and this cardinal came right beside me and landed. And I was just standing and I was looking at this cardinal. And I had a moment, I said hello, and it flew away, and it flew in the direction that I was traveling. And as I was walking, I went through a whole series of just like things that were so deep in the back of my subconscious, even things I haven't even really thought about in a long time. And I was having some not new emotions, but being aware of these emotions in a different way. And I actually felt a moment as I worked through this, as I was walking, of feeling something shift within myself and like literally leave my body. So I'm definitely ready to release. I've named some aspects of that which no longer serve my life purpose, which is great because that has been the common theme for me throughout new moon and full moon. So that was really, really a great moment, and it was perfect that it was today. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad it was early, so I was still fresh off that vibe that happened as I was walking this morning. There's been some emotions, and there's been some behaviors that have been reactive for me, moments that came up that were almost like routine-ish, But now I feel like more, and like I said, I'm definitely ready to release. I don't know, how are you, Stephen? Are you feeling these energies? Are you in this release vibe of the full moon?
Oh my gosh, I feel for myself that this entire moon cycle has been about releasing a previous cycle. And the first part of my intentions were to just let the change occur and let the change happen and not try to, which is exactly the same type of thing with releasing and letting the change happen and letting it go. So I'm really into this whole like integration, releasing vibe right now. And I think I'm really also caught with the energy of like the buck side of this moon. Like it's time to like lay down your weapons. It's so traditionally in Celtic culture, this is where the buck would, what is the word? Like a snake sheds its skin, it sheds its antlers because it no longer needs to fight. This is sort of this time, and that it's symbolic of that. And you know what? I think if we're looking at our whole year, Candace, we've established a lot of really great systems of work for both Arcana and in other avenues of our life, let's say. So now we're sort of turning into that integration. It's time to put down the hard work, and now it's time to just integrate it. And I just have to say, you look gorgeous, all backlit with that setting sun.
I've got this sun halo happening. I forgot that my windows are all facing west, so the sun is setting, and I've got a halo.
I'm here for it.
So okay, well, yeah, I definitely, I feel like it does correlate with all of the work, and it's in like this perfect divine timing that we're in this buck moon now, and we're feeling this shift, and it's like ready to step into harvest season, and so everything's kind of shifting, and it's really, really, really great when you do the work and you are aware of the natural cycles and energies around you, and it all kind of comes together, and you're like, wow, it is in flow, and I am in flow, and I am connected. And it's not just talking about it and saying it, it's like literally reflected in the realities of your life. And it's really, really, really great to get that. So, but let's talk more about this full moon. So, Stephen, what do you think? Should I close this blind? As beautiful as the sunlit is, I'm just a face glowing.
Like to go for it.
I mean, I'm just like a shadow.
Yeah, you're just. I mean, it's so gorgeous, but I mean, sure.
Okay.
Now, audience, I'd like you to stare at Candace's bouquet as she gets up and closes her blind.
This one?
Yeah, there we go. If you guys checked out our Instagram earlier today, we actually have a video that was live in May, where we were talking about the different full moons that we have all year long. And one of them is the buck moon, of course, which is what we're talking about. And if you were commenting and laughing on our Instagram earlier, we definitely had some videos posted live from that of I may have been wearing a deer face and a clown face. It was really a good one. Okay, Candace, we can see your gorgeous face.
I think this is better. I was feeling kind of just like a ghost, almost talking from the heavens. So, I mean, not bad.
I mean, if this fits, be the goddess, right?
Here I am. Okay, so let's talk more about this full moon. So, Stephen kind of mentioned the full moon is a perfect time for releasing and stuff. It's a great time to shine some light on all that hides in the shadows, or maybe has been hiding in plain sight in your life, but no longer serving you. Okay. I'm excited to let go. I gave you my little story, so I'm already in flow with that. And I'm ready to make space for the intentions I set during new moon. Like I'm really ready to give that all. So during the full moon, you got your moon and you got your sun sign, and they're in opposition of each other. So what you want, okay, this is going to be like the shortest, quickest breakdown of your sun and your moon sign. Your sun, let's say it's what you want, right? which is in Leo. And what you need, your moon is in an Aquarius, right? The dualities of these signs can be such an emotional time, which makes sense thinking about tonight as being when you need to release. So Leo is more about the self, and Aquarius is about big picture, community, and others. So explore for you how that might be impacting your vibe and your life during this moon energy, especially today, right? So how does that duality play for you right now, right? And think about that when you're thinking about what exactly you want to release and how you're going to say it. You know what I mean? It might not change the goal, the ultimate goal, but the universe is always listening. So be aware of the words that you choose, and you might want to look at that duality for yourself, right? And harness those energies. So it might change the way that you're going to say this to yourself or write it down in your journal or your book when you're doing the work. An Aquarius full moon asks us to embrace the big thinker energy, right? Go outside the box, stir the pot, and look to the future. This isn't a conventional time. So this isn't like, if we're talking about like major arcana, this isn't the Hierophant time, okay? These are like, no, right? This is, you want to put that stuff aside, and you want to be experimental. You want to be your most authentic self. You don't want to be stuck in the rigid society standards even. You want to break all of that. You want to embrace what makes you different, what makes you, okay? This full moon in Aquarius is also sitting between Pluto and Saturn. So Pluto is all about transformation, new and evolving perspectives. And then Saturn represents determination, hard work, but it also is about checking each and every task off your list, right? Routines, and also knowing when to quit, or like when maybe you've bitten off more than you can chew, right? So you've got all that, and then you've got sweet emotion-filled moon sitting smack dab in the middle of Pluto and Saturn. This could cause some of us to feel a little more down than normal, more serious, maybe your Smith's album or whatever music you listen to and you're feeling melancholy or whatever.
I might break up Adele, everyone.
Or contemplate.
Floor to Adele.
There you go, right? I would turn the Smiths on, maybe some Radiohead. You're doing Adele. I mean, it makes sense. But don't forget, when we find ourselves faced with really narrowing in on what we want and understanding what needs to be freed from ourselves, we can transform, right? And that's ultimately what we're trying to do here. Yeah. As scary as that can be, and as uncomfortable as it can be, it's a vital and important part of manifestation and evolving as a human. So now, remember that Pluto is about limits and understanding what you are, okay? So an Aquarius wants to break free. So if you have those limits, Aquarius, forget your limits. Let's break the limits, right? Yes. So that's why this time is like so much. I feel like that's why I'm feeling so happening right now. And so many things come up and change and move and break and stay and feel and all the stuff, right? So let's go back to our little metaphor here, our little like story that we're building. So you're listening to sad music, thinking about all the limitations, shining the big full emotional moonlight on all it is. And then it's like, hey, let's shake it up. Let's face some shit. Let's move beyond it. Yeah, the truth might be hard to hear, but let's break free and move forward. That is the vibe, right? Now is the time to do what you do to make the world a better place, right? That's very much the Aquarius energy, right? Yeah. That is so Aquarius, right? But we got to thank duality through the Leo season that we're in. So as well as staying with this idea of being your best self in order to give back and live with purpose, there's a huge asteroid. I can't remember the name. If anyone remembers the name, put it in the comments. Or Steve, if you remember it, I can't remember the name of this huge asteroid. It's in conjunction with the full moon right now. I believe it's the biggest asteroid in our solar system. It's in conjunction. It's also in Aquarius, And when this happens, when a conjunction like this happens, it represents unity and comes with themes of internal healing, especially letting go of past trauma. So this asteroid, like I said, is in Aquarius. So this conjunction can help you do the personal work in order to help others do the same. So again, that's coming back to that duality with the Leo stuff, right? Leo is like me, can be kind of like an internal thing. I don't want to use the word selfish because it's not just about that, but it's the me stuff.
Yeah.
And the Aquarius is the community stuff, right? And this conjunction with the moon and this asteroid is about healing the stuff, healing you so that you can shine the light, lead the path, and help others do the same work, right? And that, again, that's very Aquarius. So, so that's kind of like the vibe that's happening right now. I mean, there's so much more. We could talk about this for hours, but let's do some actual work. And leave it there for the astrology. I kind of like to make it so it's like, astrology, I feel like sometimes can feel a little overwhelming when you're talking about it and you're talking about conjunctions. So to me, in my mind, especially as a behaviorist, I like to try and make it come down to like the humanistic aspects of it, right? The things that make sense in the day-to-day. So I hope that helped everyone kind of get a good understanding of what is going on with the energies and with the astrology right now. Yeah, so that's it for me. Shall we get to doing some work, or what's up? What's next?
Let's do it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what we were working with releasing last season. Okay, so what kind of things were we releasing? So Candace, do you want to go first? What were you releasing last season?
So I was releasing, I just have it here. I was releasing, I think I was being a little bit judgy about myself at that time. And I feel like I was trying to like release that stuff. I was trying to release fear. I was making a big choice. I was looking towards my future and what I want. And I was feeling like scared about failure and like having a lot of thoughts that weren't really serving me. They were only creating fear and making me hesitant or question the choices that I was making that I know in my gut were the right things to do. So, and in a whole, I think that was the main objective of my release work last full moon. And what about you?
For me, I mentioned this a little earlier in the video. There was just so much change between, because we're located in Toronto, Canada, we're finally open after the pandemic. So a lot of jobs have gone back to normal. A lot of, things, things are just a little bit, they're not fully normal, but they're getting there, right? So there's a large part of me that as a Gemini Leo, I just want to control everything in the sense of like, I'm like, well, we could do it this way and then that way, and then we can make this happen and have that happen. And for me, I wanted to try with a lot of the changes that were coming my way. I had already done the work. I had already been authentic with both my work life and a few other areas of my life. And I was just going to let it unfold. So I was releasing control, really, is what it came down to. I just wanted to experience. I wanted to be a little more present. And I think I did a good job of it last season. I think I almost may have gone a little bit too far. I sort of should have probably been a bit more diligent in a few different places, but I'm not going to begrudge myself for it because I feel like I'm in a really great place because of it. Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah,
that's great.
So it's all really nice when you look back at a 28-day cycle and you look at what things have changed, what things are happening, what's going on for you. It's being able to be a part of this wheel of the year together with these 13 full moons of the year, and we're doing our new moon work. It's really interesting to watch, as your soul sibling sitting across from you in circle, watching how much you've grown and changed in 6 months. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Same to you. And it's been interesting because we have done that before, but it wasn't, we weren't logging in. We weren't preparing to discuss it openly like this. It was more of just you and me and our space and, you know, opening circle. It was just ritual. It was just us.
Yeah.
And so it's been very to do it this way, maintaining our validity and staying and honoring our you know, personal space as well, but still, like I said, shining light on the work that we're doing. Because I feel like anytime someone's ever shined light on whatever their journey was, it makes it really easy for other people too.
Yeah. And that's really
long. They might need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's good.
Okay, so why don't we move on? Let's talk about gratitude. Why don't you, if you're watching from home, please take a few minutes and write out a few things that you are feeling grateful for this full moon. Now, if this is your first time working with gratitude list, or this applies anytime you're doing any type of work regarding the full moon, it's always nice to look at the energies that are also taking place. So in speaking about Aquarius, in speaking about that we're in Leo season, or coming up. Oh no, we are officially in Leo season, aren't we? Yeah. So it's always good to look at those energies and what they can provide. So going off what Candace was saying earlier, for me, very simply, I think Candace said it so lovely, was Leo is a very, it's about self. It's a sign that's very much like a personal sign. It's about yourself. And Aquarius is about the community, the globe, the everything. So I find the energies of this full moon can feel a lot like, where is my place in this world? Right? Where is my Leo place in this Aquarius world? So living with those thoughts, feeling those thoughts, and releasing any fears maybe about where your place is in the world, because I believe that everyone is going exactly where they're supposed to in divine timing. All right, Candace, let's talk gratitude.
Gratitude. So today I was just kind of just writing some words that were coming to me. I listed some people, such as you, such as family, such as my partner, my daughter, his daughter, just friends that have come back into my life. Just again, I feel like I'm on this high of just
Well, Soul Circle, this is live. Anything can happen. I'll just get Candace back in. I'll get her to join on back here in just a moment. There we go. We missed you.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm on a high with, Toronto being open again, and people, regardless of what everyone's beliefs are, some of us are getting vaccinated, and people are able to go out and feel less fear doing so. And it's been so nice. I've hugged people that they haven't hugged anyone besides whoever they were bubbled up with. And that might've just been a parent and their kid or something, so it's been really, really, really great. My daughter had her birthday, and just seeing her play with some friends outside, and even the parents, they didn't even leave. I'm like, just stay. We were all just sitting in this park, just oh my God, this sense of community, normalcy, just feeling connected and empathetic towards how much everyone really wants to connect again. Yes. And so a lot of my words were about community and feeling connected and feeling healthy and being grateful for all of those things, feeling able-bodied. That's where most of my hit words are. And what about you? What's your gratitude list look like this time?
This time I am super, super grateful for my life and my home and the life that I've built with my husband. I think without a doubt, we definitely don't march to the beat of anyone else's drum. We live a life that is very beyond expectations of what a lot of society may want for us. We're not going to buy the big house. We even got rid of our car. We're like, well, we don't need this. And it was already paid off. We don't need these things. We have very different ideas of what our life is going to look like because it's in alignment with each other and our own happiness. So on this full moon, in this because Aquarius is kind of the weirdo energy who goes against it all, I'm really feeling I'm really grateful that I met such an amazing soul partner for me who just matches me and compliments me and teaches me in so many beautiful different ways. And in moving back to our home together, it's just been really beautiful to look around at 15 years of us together and what we built together. And it's just been really beautiful. I'm just in awe of him and what we've created together. So this is a very him-focused full moon for me. I'm super grateful for him.
Aw, that's lovely. I love that. And I love him too. And I love him too. Hi. See you soon.
Yeah. So for me, that's where I am. So the last part of this is going to be just talking about what we are releasing this cycle. So if you're not used to hearing this vocabulary about releasing generally refers to if you feel that there is anything that if you were going to do a personal inventory, if you're going to look inside, is there anything that no longer serves you? Is there something that even if you don't admit it out loud to anyone, even if you don't have to tell a single soul, is there a part of yourself that you need to look at and say, maybe if I did this instead, maybe if I made space for this in my heart and forgave, maybe if I respected a part of myself that maybe I don't like so much. Releasing can mean a lot of different things, but generally it's about giving it to Goddess and just letting yourself move on and making space in yourself that maybe something was taking up too much space. Yeah.
Absolutely. Gotta let that leaf on the stream float away.
Yeah, sometimes, again, I think I said this last full moon, it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's remember that mountain that we told you to climb? You only had to climb it, you don't have to carry it. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to put it down. And full moon is one of the best times. It is the best time of the lunar year to do that. And if you're someone who follows natural cycles, you know that Lunasa is starting next week, which is
So soon. How is it already time for the
harvest, right? It's time for harvest. So we're in the solar cycle, we're entering harvest season, and we're on a harvesting night. So if you got something heavy, and you know what, even with like being in Leo, if you have some really heavy stuff to let go, this might be your full moon. Like it is time to like let go of that anchor. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And that's what I was feeling earlier today, like heavy stuff. Well, I called you. You're like, wow, that's quite the morning walk. Like, that's a lot.
I hadn't had my morning coffee, and she's like contemplating life.
Yeah. Deep soul walk. It was only like, only 2.7 kilometers. Like, it was a lot.
All right. So take a moment here and dive right in. What are you releasing?
Yes.
Now, you may notice throughout the broadcast that Candace and I have some water. Every full moon, it is an excellent practice to make moon water. And what moon water is just water that you leave out to get charged by the energies of that full moon. And you can do all kinds of different things with it. You can put stones inside it. Some people even put herbs and certain oils that are safe for you. I think as whatever you do, whatever you add to it, make sure you do a little bit of research, because sometimes there are things that may ferment or what have you. So I personally just like a good old stone in the bottom and a little bit of water. And there's so many different things you can do with it. You can add it to your bath water, water your plants, diffuse it, or you can just drink it. That's my preferred way. Now this water right here is still infused with last month. So this is last month's moon water. So this is all about that Capricorn energy. So this was like very earth-based intentions. And here we are in Aquarius, which is air-based intentions. So very much more expansive, very different. So as we drift into this Aquarian season, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Love me some moon water. All right, Candace, what are you releasing?
I'm releasing a few things here, but going off of kind of what I said earlier in my initial story after the cardinal came to visit me. I'm releasing fear. I'm releasing a lot of fear. Fear around of losing what I currently have. Fear of never getting what I want. Fear of or rather releasing shame of feeling angry about certain things that are from my past that don't necessarily go away the same way that other things might, right? We're looking at trauma and things like that, and I feel like there's always this weird shame that comes along with feeling angry about it. And I think today was a big one of just kind of sitting with that anger and being like, actually, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to be angry about this. Like, I think I need to dust this under the rug. I already know that you can't dismiss those things or hide them or put them aside. And I also understand that as a human, that a natural emotion is anger. And when things happen that are terrible, because they do sometimes, I think it's okay to be angry. And I don't need to be a passive, sweet, loving, mothering Cancer moon in my female energy all the time. I'm allowed to spark it up, and I'm allowed to be pissed off because that deserves it. It calls for it. So I'm releasing that shame, and I am sitting comfortably and knowing that that actually pisses me off. Not in a sense that's controlling me, but in a way that like is empowering and will be a driving factor in moving forward.
Right.
Not a stagnant anger, but like as a momentum to be like, screw that shit. I'm done with that, and I'm gonna move forward, and I'm gonna own, and I'm gonna be empowered, and I'm going to find my voice and my way of being empowered through those past traumas. I'm releasing the fear around that, or the shame around that. I'm releasing old stories that were given to me by negative people who are probably hurt and need to do some healing themselves. And hopefully at this point in life, maybe they have. But regardless, I need to let go of those stories that might still be lingering in the back, because the cardinal brought up some things up I didn't even know that were there anymore. So, and I think the biggest one here, I'm releasing the past, because it is, as you said, if you were mentioning weight, an anchor, those things are dragging behind me, and I need to release them so that I can move, keep flowing, keep it going. So that is in a nutshell what I'm releasing. And for you, what is your release?
I really love that. I just want to say, like, give you a big, like, virtual hug about what you are releasing, because there's a lot of subtext there. And
thank you.
So, again, thinking about like this big weirdo Aquarius energy. I love Aquariuses, don't get me wrong. Weirdos.
Big old weirdo.
So for me, I'm releasing my expectation of time. I kind of going back to what I was working with last lunar release about just like Leo, Gemini, like during the season, like fire season, like let's do it, let's do the thing, let's whatever. I always preach divine timing, because I believe that fundamentally all the time for everyone in my life. And yet sometimes I have to turn that to myself and be like, you've stepped away from one of your own core beliefs. Why am I putting this pressure on myself? Why am I doing the thing? You are doing the work, you're taking the steps, you're doing the thing. So it's a little bit of like practice what I preach, like just live in divine timing, just trust the process, be almost be like a little more passive, if that means anything. Just sort of just release and enjoy, and not live with so much expectation. I feel like as we're moving into harvest, I want to release a bit more expectation on that, and instead of expectation, I want to work with integration. But that'll come next new moon. Next, very soon we'll be talking about how, because I feel like my new moon and everything coming for harvest is going to be all about integrating versus the expectation, because there's already been so much work done. And I need to honor that a little bit by integrating the work that's been done into my everyday. So long explanation, that's where my weirdo Aquarius thoughts are living. So.
I love how it's still weird.
So if you are working with herbs and there's a lot of things we like to do. We dirty up our book good and proper with a lot of these scents and herbs that are sacred to the full moon and Aquarius. And we also have our intention candle here. It's white, there we go, and it has all the symbols on it of a whole bunch of different zodiac signs. So I'll be carving the Aquarius sign in there, which is like waves.
Yeah. one wave with 3 swooshes, and then another line of waves with 3 swooshes underneath it.
Yeah, so I'll be carving that right in here, and I'll be using the wax to seal all this intention stuff. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Excellent. So before we get to tarot, Candace, is there anything that you would like to talk about? Any other practices? Anything else?
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is what we do, and if there's anything that people want to add or what they do, leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. You know, it's different for everybody, right? It's a very personal thing. But I wanted to mention there's a couple things I was feeling drawn to. I was kind of just doing a little research and seeing what everyone else is doing out there. And one of the things that kept popping up, and I was like, this feels really good for me. So it might be a little bit something that I might do later on this evening. And I was feeling pulled to write out what isn't working. And I think it was just the language there, what isn't working. And my goal is to release that and make sure I'm on track with clarity, right? Like we want to cut the fat away and release, but also keep in mind the reason why. And I think a really simplistic, nice way is for clarity, to stay on track. We set our intentions in the new moon, and there's a lot of emotions and things that are coming up here, and we can release all of those. And it's really easy to then kind of forget about what the intention was and what the goal is and what the work specifically is, right? And something that I feel happens that I have to remind myself about is if I have a goal and I'm, not hyper focused on it, I'm still doing all of the other steps in between, and I put it out into the universe, it has to be specific. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that year, Steve, where I was like, I want love. I want love in my life.
You kept saying, like, I want to be surrounded by love.
I want love.
Yeah.
Every single person that I love met their soulmate, got married. I went to a bunch of weddings. I did and I was the only single person in the whole place. There were going to be like 20 people, and I'm the only single person, and everyone's super in love and happy and getting married and like getting pregnant and doing all this stuff. So I think it's important to have clarity in your goal. And when you cut away the fat, so to speak, and you do that, then, and you are aware of what isn't working for you, you can do all the small steps with all of the Sabbaths, with all of the new moons and the full moons, but you're still clear on what you want. And when you're writing out your mantras, when you're writing down your intentions, you're very, very clear and specific in that, and it doesn't get misconstrued or whatever by the universe, and you get a version of it that isn't what you were asking for at all. Although I had a great time, you know what I mean? I'm very happy for all my friends. I was never bitter about it at all. I was just laughing the whole way, like, yeah, this isn't exactly what I was on about, but gotcha.
But I'm really grateful. Yeah.
I'm very grateful for it all. So yeah, I think that's just great so that you can see your manifestations more clearly, and you can really picture it. When you can picture it, I feel like you just can go into that part in your mind and picture it, and it's like it's almost there. It's almost like you can touch it, and that having that tangible goal, clear tangible goal, is really nice.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that you can do, similar to what we've done. It was just a little bit of a different language that I think that was working for me. Also try writing that mantra. Try writing something that you can use now for like your meditations, so that you still are keeping that goal clear while you're doing other work. And maybe you're going to write several mantras for each of the different celebrations or rituals that come up for you, right? Yeah. Buy one that works, and think about the language that you're using. If it doesn't work with the Aquarius energy of the full moon right now, maybe you're working on chakras. Like, we have a whole series of chakra work that you can look to help write that for yourself, or you can use the ones that we wrote. I think I gave a few options there on our lives where we did chakras for the week, and also in our chakra series. The idea is that you want to be in flow, whatever it is. Just remember to just cut away the stuff that's no longer serving you and be very clear in your mantra, just like you're being very clear in your visual, and keep it short and sweet, clear, solid statement, right? Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to mention that's really important is to set sacred space. You know, find a minute to do that before you do the work. We have a great video actually on that, on helping you set sacred space. And it doesn't have to be some big 40-minute or longer. You don't have to scrub the floors and stuff. Find a spot, make it cozy. Maybe it's your bed. Maybe it's a small space, you know, whatever you can do. But you want to try and put that into the schedule of things when you're doing this work. Light a candle, tidy up the area so that you can really relax and meditate on all the things that you want to bring in, not the clutter that's surrounding you, right? Burn an incense, oils, herbs. I've been making these little satchels, and it just, oh my God, sometimes I just that and in itself I can drop in, like especially like when I'm trying to relax before bed or when I wake up and I want to do some meditation. You know, I find different scents from my garden that I put in here, and it just takes you where you need to go. Try doing something like that for yourself. Take a bath, be comfortable, find your way to drop in. And also going back to this Aquarius energy, think above and beyond, and don't, you know, stay small. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Think beyond, play, have that playful vibe, and let some new messages flow into you, you know. And then this is a great time for it with, you know, be a big weirdo. Think outside the box.
Yeah, right?
Right? Don't be scared.
Yeah.
It's your thoughts. Go wild. Think something crazy. Like, what if I did this crazy freaking thing and have this visual and feel how it feels when you do that? And like, you know what I mean? And you're in your vibe and you're feeling nice with some lotions on after a bath. You got your little satchel. You're smelling the goods. You're feeling great. Go for it.
I love all of it. I love all of that. I don't know if we mentioned it earlier. I just want to point it out because you may have seen Candace and I playing with a bunch of herbs. The herbs that are actually sacred for Aquarius, mint. Mint is a very big one for a lot of air signs, actually. And then working with sage, different types. You can get Salvia apiana, you can get black sage, lots of different types of sage. And lavender, a lot of different types of lavender are really good for Aquarius. And one of my personal favorite herbs to work with is mugwort. Candace and I often work with mugwort, big fans of it, love it. And that also includes like wormwood and that family. And then licorice, if you work with any licorice root or, I mean, let's not bring those like gummies into a circle here. But yeah, like anything that's licorice root is very good for it as well. So in a moment, I'm going to turn my camera over and I'm going to show you an example of how I would pop all of the herbs right on it and seal it on in, and then we'll do our tarot. Is there anything before tarot? You feel good? Ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm ready for some guidance here. Let's see what's going to happen.
Hold all this for my garden, so I'm excited.
You actually have gorgeous lavender. I love your lavender.
Mm.
Yeah, it's good.
It's very good. It's very tasty.
So if everyone can see my mess that I have going on here, in my book, I wrote down all the things we were talking about, and now I've taken some of the herbs, I put it right on there, and you just put your face in it. It's gorgeous. It smells so good. And that's actually really awesome. As you go back through your book and you open different pages, your scent memory is going to be attached to the energy that you're working with of that. And it's actually a beautiful, beautiful part of practice. So I'm just going to seal some of these intentions in here using our moon candle here. Ooh, she's a hot wax. There we go. I like to get my hands right in there too. Yeah, I'm also working with a yellow candle. It just looks like a big glowing fireball in the center here. Yellow is a really good color to work with any of your air signs. So if you have a yellow candle, feel free to burn that tonight. It's probably a really good time to do that. And also, anytime you work with yellow, yellow for correspondence is happiness. I feel like there's never a bad time to work with what makes you happy. Never a bad time. Candice, you are just like the most gorgeous, like goddess lit there on the screen. It's like you go from being perfectly focused and then you turn your head over and it's just straight up goddess life.
I'm glad I could give you all my goddess vibes. And I also gave myself a little sensory vibe here as I spilled hot wax all over my legs.
Excellent. How I love you. All right, let's dive on into some tarot. Okay, so we're going to go with symbol number 1. Symbol number 1 was this one here, folks. Okay. Now, this symbol, if you chose this one, this is the symbol of creation. This means that you're working on creating. All right. So if someone is drawn to this, my first question is, what are you creating? What are you trying to create and maybe are afraid to? Especially during something that has an Aquarius vibe. It's like, kind of like Candice was saying, let's jump, let's go big, let's do the crazy thing. What is your big creation? So let's do some cards. Oh, okay. So the first card here is the Page of Swords. All right, I love me some Page of Swords because the Page of Swords is the forever learning individual. It is the person who is just always expanding, seeking knowledge, seeking new ways of thought. If this was your card that you pulled, this is your, maybe your obstacle, what's standing in your way. So in doing a reading for that, I would say that maybe you need to expand what your specialty is, what your knowledge base is, or if you're looking at a current situation, maybe you need to look at it from a fresh perspective. This is about broadening, okay? Swords is all about air energy and expansion. So how can you open your mind differently in this situation? And then your outcome in doing so, woo, this is a good outcome. Love me some High Priestess energy. So pretty much, if you are to expand yourself in whatever your current situation is, you will be the most fully embodied version of yourself. So whatever you could possibly, whatever that means to you, I feel like that's a very personal card based on whatever your situation is. The High Priestess is embodiment, it's potential, it's it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous card. And following something that's about learning, this would be like the fruition of all that you've learned. So as a message, I would probably say expand your mind, find like what is that new perspective that needs to be looked at in order to hit that. All right, moving on. Let's go this way. Bam. If you chose this sign, so this sign is our closing sign. Closing means the end of cycles. Closing is every time you get to, it's kind of like the death card in the tarot. It's all about a new beginning because at every death there is a rebirth, right? You're preparing for the beginning of a new cycle. So I would ask yourself, what are you saying goodbye to right now? What are you harvesting? This would be the question based around picking that stuff. So we have the Strength card. So a lot of you may be in a certain situation right now where you are finding fortitude, where you need to find strength. Usually when this card initially comes up, everyone just says, you have to stay strong in your current situation. You need to have the courage of the lion. But I also think it's important to bring up 2 other aspects of strength. Now, one of those is strength takes persistence. The Strength card is not about just being strong and everything is fine right away and whatever. There's usually an element of fighting. There's a bit of persistence. You have to keep doing the work. There's a little bit of staying in there. And the other part of it is integration of yourself. Like even in the depiction on the artwork of this deck. I mean, I just love the Lightseer's Tarot. I think it's one of the most gorgeous tarot decks out there. But you'll notice that she is part woman and part lion. It's integrating that strength into your everyday. You don't just want to be this fierce beast who is fighting everything and you become hard on the outside. You have to remind yourself that this is a very feline energy. And cats, all cats have an element of softness, of staying soft, while also being ferocious, you know? And strength is all about that. Remind yourself of where your strength is and allow yourself to stay soft so that you're not pushing away anything that could be coming your way that's good. Okay, so if this was sort of where you are, your outcome. So if we are closing something, I think this is a pretty beautiful card. This is the Wheel. The Wheel of Fortune reminds us of that things are very cyclical. Things happen in cycles. Things are going... This is a very fortuitous card. Usually this means like very like, the Wheel of Fortune is upon you. You know, that's where the Wheel of Fortune came from, that game show. But more than just being like yes and fortune and good, I think it's important that this is about the cycle of it. So yes, things may turn out to your favor. You may have to close a certain cycle and stay strong and find that strength, but inevitably you are going to get to your most maximum timeline, your highest outcome, whatever that happiness means for you. It's actually a pretty beautiful thing. If you were just choosing closing, that is actually a gorgeous card to have as your close. All right, let's pop on up here. Again, this is an energy that Candace and I don't often use for our full moon. Trying to get it nice and focused there. There we go.
There you go.
There you go. Now, all of these... we do have a question in the feed here. The question is, wow, those stones are so beautiful. Where did you get them carved? So these stones are all clear quartz pillars. They're entirely clear quartz. They're actually very heavy. I carried around like 12 of them in a handbag all over Italy for a little while. There was like 60 pounds of healing crystals on my back. But you can actually get these through Sage Goddess. If you've ever heard of Sage Goddess, head on over there. They work with a lot of these symbols. These symbols are called the Angelaphos. And they're channeled based on different energies that take place over the course of different cycles. So this symbol here, again, trying to get the focus, the light that shines through these quartz sometimes makes it difficult on webcam, but this is the harmony sign. So harmony can mean a lot of different things. And I think during a season, as we're turning towards the harvest, harmony is all about almost like resolution. You know, harmony is what comes after conflict resolution. So I think it's really, I'd be looking at places in your life that were maybe, like, where don't you have harmony? Where do you wish you had more harmony? And are you what's standing in the way? Like, are you what's holding that back? These would be the questions that I would look at there. All right. So we pulled the anxiety card. Wow. So we have the 9 of Swords. Often this card, when this comes up, I like to ask, are you sleeping? Are you, like, what is keeping you up at night? What is taking place in your mind where you cannot slow down? So again, going along with harmony and conflict resolution, what are we ready to just let go of, which is perfect full moon energy, right? Like, what can we just, like, why, if it's keeping you up, it's obviously not serving you. Maybe you have to do something about it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just gotta let that shit go, you know? So that's that. I think everyone can read deeply into what that means for themselves. And the outcome. Let's say you are to release. Let's say there is some force of like prime conflict that you are dealing with and you are choosing to release that. Outcome. Again, I pull this card all the time. It's one of my favorites, the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands is about like, well, let's look at this card. So she is gazing out the window at what could come next. There is a globe sitting at her feet. She's holding one wand, really like happily looking out a window, dreaming of what can come next. And the other wand is just laying out what she's already created and what she's doing. Often this is about choices and choosing a new perspective. This could be like I have a lot of stories in my life where this card was very important and it was like all right, it's time to make a change. Let's like sell everything. This is like, Candace, this is that time where you left everything behind and moved to New Zealand. That's this card. Yeah.
Yes.
Right? That's this right here. So maybe you need a fresh perspective. This coming after your Nine of Swords and then followed by this card as your outcome, I would say you will be met with a fresh perspective. You may be this person looking out the window right now, but if you choose to let go, you will be on an entirely new path. Things will feel very different for you. So I think that's pretty astute as well. All right, last one. If this is the symbol that you chose. All right. This is the symbol that you chose. This one is integration. All right. This is actually the symbol of the harvest. This is 100% a part of that full moon energy, integration. So let's look at our cards here. All right, so like current situation, let's look at that. We have the Hierophant. There are some of you out here who may be feeling like there are current situations. Sorry, I'm laughing at this. Just so you know, this is what I chose. There are current situations, there are systems in place in your life that are structures, this is like your Saturn energy. This is your, there are systems that are, they could be systems that you live by every single day. Good is good, bad is bad, go to work, do the things. These are all of your systems, but also the Hierophant also can remind us of enlightenment, being closer to spirit and things like that as well. It's not all about these heavy systems and everything, but I think if we're talking about current obstacles, I feel like this is really applying to some of those big systems in your life that we may be looking at right now and thinking, where do those fit? Why am I putting these expectations? What is that? So yeah. That's how I would read that. I feel like you'd probably read into that the same way, Candace, right?
I brought that up in earlier when I was talking about the astrology.
Right? Yeah.
Being like, well, Aquarius is like, oh, that's a nice routine and system you have there. Let's tear it apart and let's like rebuild and like let's look at some other things here.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
All right. So our next one, the outcome. Okay. The outcome is the Eight of Cups.
Oh.
Our outcome is the letting go and walking away card. As you can see in her picture, she is, there's a lot of other lights drifted off in the sea, and she's just placed her last bowl into the ocean and she has walked away. Sometimes you have to acknowledge that it's the end of a cycle and it is time to move on. And that is where I'm going to leave that for right now. So, which one did you choose?
I chose closing, the closing one.
Oh.
End of cycles.
Excellent. Nice. And did you find that it was resonant?
Absolutely. For sure. I feel very much so that it was.
Yeah.
That was the strength in the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And my secondary card was creation. So I think that it was a good flow and right on the mark with everything that's happening. So
yeah, I often find because you and I are holding space and doing this for each other and with each other, almost even if I'm not focused on one of those symbols, it's like you read into it and you're like, wow, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Very specific.
Awesome. So we are finished, everyone. We've done our tarot. We have talked about our gratitude. We've done our release work, and we've talked about previous cycles. As we move forward, I want you guys all to know we will be going live again in August, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going over, we're trying to decide which platform we're going to be using. I feel like we've settled on Instagram. We're going to give that a go. We've done YouTube a whole bunch. We've done Facebook a whole bunch. So we're going to dive on into Instagram. So that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you like and subscribe and you follow and all this stuff. Share with all your friends as much as you possibly can. Candace, before I let everyone go, is there anything else that you would like to say before we let our gorgeous soul circle go?
No, I'm good. I think I said it all. And I hope everyone has a beautiful full moon tonight. And you get weird and you get in and you do the work.
The work.
I'm excited to see where everyone's at and where you're at and where I'm at this time. Next cycle.
All right. Namaste, Soul Circle. Mwah.
Namaste. Mwah. Much love.